If Felix is going to war, put him on the front lines. Let him see some action. Give him danger, trauma, intensity, something. But if you're going to put him on a postal delivery ship instead, then he better be sucking and fucking his way through the Atlantic. Because otherwise, what are we doing here?
In 1939, war came to call. War of the whole wide world, and all but the coward took to the battlefield. At least that's how Cal Jenkins feels, a man from Ohio whose physical disability rendered him unfit for military service in a time when his peers were taking up arms for the sake of the world. When Cal encounters Margaret Salt, a beautiful woman with a haunted past, he discovers that neither bullets, bombs, nor nuclear warheads are as swift or sudden a weapon as temptation.
Damn. So if that was you was Cal, and you get the all clear from the doctors.
What, to charge into
the all clear? You're not going.
Well, I'm gonna get into this a little bit more. With 2025, Joseph.
Oh no! Pause this video right now. Go and read Buckeye by
Patrick Ryan, and when you've read it, you can join us in the discussion.
Or you can join us anyway, because we're going to tell you all about it. My name's Elijah.
And I'm Joseph, and welcome to the Icha Library. But if you're asking 2025, Joseph, would I be charging into the bullets? Probably not. 1930s, Joseph, who knows?
You would feel inadequate, innit?
Yeah, you would feel.
There was at home with the girls.
The girls and women and children and dogs. But there's huge. The dogs actually would have been in the war. What am I talking about? But there would huge societal pressure.
And the treatment that the guys got who didn't go as well after the war.
Oh, during and after. Because the women are banding you up as well.
What are you doing here?
Do you know what I mean? When they're in the factory doing their part as well. But yeah, there was huge societal pressure to obviously sign up and serve your country.
So what did you think of the book?
But it was at least an entertaining read, I thought, which I thought, you can always work with that.
Exactly.
There's always a huge takeaway. And if you're not bored, then the author definitely did something right. It's not my favourite style of book, as you probably guessed.
You like a firm plot, innit?
I want a plot. I want you
want to know where it's going. You don't want to just blow with the wind.
Yeah. Honestly, it can be done well. Just because I'm not a fan of it doesn't mean it can't be done well. Obviously, we've read books where we would say it's done well. For example, like Normal People, Sally Rooney, thought that was done well. You loved Intermezzo. But
why did you do that?
Just to show how crazy you are for loving Intermezzo. But honestly, it can be
the
done
Wedding
well.
People
Can be. This is the one that shall forever be left unnamed.
So do you think this was done well?
I thought it was good, solid.
Okay, cool. All right, let me go first then. There are 4 main characters in this story. 2 couples, Cal and Becky, and Felix and Margaret. And honestly, I like that setup. 4 protagonists is the sweet spot. Enough personalities to keep things entertaining, but still easy to follow. Cal is introduced as a cripple with a stumpy leg, and Becky is a ghost whisperer.
I don't know if you can use the C word anymore. I think that word might be out. But then maybe in the 30s, it probably wasn't, did it?
Exactly. That's what we're going with. Becky is a ghost whisperer. Literally, she has a supernatural ability to communicate with the dead, and she's turned it into a business where she helps people connect with loved ones who have passed. Cal hates her ghost consultant side hustle, but instead of putting his foot down with the one good one he's got, he silently lets his wife parade strangers in and out of the home like a spiritual whorehouse. Eventually, a strange man starts getting a little too close to Becky, and Cal finally decides he's going to handle it. And by that, I mean he picks up a hammer and threatens him, and Becky has the audacity to be upset. Excuse me, wasn't this entire mess her fault to begin with? And then the story pivots to our second couple, Margaret and Felix, 2 wildly mismatched people trying and failing to make love happen. Margaret isn't marrying Felix because she's head over heels. She's marrying him because he's acceptable. He's nice enough, pleasant enough, decent to look at, and she thinks she could probably have a reasonably happy life with him. Not bliss, not passion, reasonably happy. When Felix proposed after 6 months, having never even slept together, she says yes. No spark, no chemistry, no intimacy, nothing. Just a man who ticks all the boxes and doesn't give her a reason to say no. For many people, that alone is a huge red flag and a reason not to go through with a marriage. What do you think? Is that enough of a reason to call it quits?
I think, as you said, most people would say so. I actually think that is refreshing. I I don't know if I would say smart because I
Refreshing.
don't know enough to know if it's a smart decision, but it's refreshing to see, you know, a female character approaching a situation from such a cool and level-headed perspective as opposed to just going with whatever she feels like, you know, because going wherever you feel like, women get into all these sorts of problems when they find abusive men, etc.
Not just that, but it's not a guarantee. Going with your feelings is not a guarantee.
Yeah.
It's not any guarantee.
Or
But we
anything.
use it as a guarantee. You'll be in two situations,
Yeah,
or
use
you
it
have
as the
two options
yardstick.
in front of you. One, you'll be feeling meh, and the other one, you're excited. And going with you believe going with your feelings is some measure of
It's a yardstick of some kind.
sanity.
Yeah.
When it's not, it's actually
It's not a compass.
yeah, it's not a compass, and we use it like a compass. So if it was your daughter.
Well, that's bias now. That's introduced a lot of bias, so I couldn't make a...
Well, I still want to know what you'd say.
What would I say?
There's no spark, Daddy.
If there no spark, this is why I said I don't know if I would say smart, because no spark at all is actually quite concerning, to be fair. Because humans are weak-willed.
Yeah, we can't
humans
just
are weak-willed beings, so the
Yeah,
instant you get a spark with somebody else, that's done.
But
Or not done, but
wait,
you know what I'm saying?
wait. But if we're saying that following a spark is nonsensical, then surely using a lack of spark is still nonsensical.
Well, listen, drinking only water is nonsensical, but you do need to drink water.
I drink only water.
No, drinking only water and nothing,
no.
and not having any form of sustenance from anything else, that's nonsensical as well, but you still do need water.
I don't know if I accept the comparison, but
Maybe not.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere with
But
this.
I'm sure you see where I'm going with that, though. That was done off the cuff, too.
I don't know. I don't know if you've answered what I asked, and I don't know if you want me to ask it again.
I don't know why you don't think I answered what you asked, because I believe I perfectly answered what you asked.
I don't know. Again, I don't think we're going to get anywhere with this, so we're going to keep it moving.
Yeah, personally, I just feel like...
I'm asking what
Marriages-
you would
marriages,
advise your.
relationships.
I'm asking what you
Yeah,
would advise your imaginary daughter
my
on an imaginary
imaginary
scenario.
husband with an imaginary relationship and an imaginary lack of spark. But
Give me a correct answer.
do you know what I mean?
And I'm
Exactly.
You're the crazy one. Eh?
Exactly. I'm the one being made out to be crazy. But yeah, no, honestly, all I could say is, you know, I believe marriages should probably have some form of spark. Like,
But when we say things like this, then we're alienating a vast majority of arranged marriages that seem to outperform the traditional marriages.
yeah, no, that's absolutely true. But I'm just, like, arranged marriage doesn't necessarily mean there's no spark. It just means it was arranged.
But I would have to look at the stats, and
I'm sure
and
all of them can't be.
And
without
even when
spark.
we ask somebody, "Did you have a spark?" It's like, can you really even trust their answer? I mean, it's like,
What do you mean?
because some people who say no, what are they saying? Are they saying that the spark didn't reach a certain threshold? I mean, do you know what I mean?
Oh, okay, well then there's
It
no point
starts
asking
getting-
any questions ever.
That's what I'm saying.
That's literally 0 point.
Well, that's what I'm
asking any
saying.
questions
Can you
ever.
really trust what they are?
Like, are you hungry? Has your hunger reached a
You
proper
can,
threshold?
because what I mean, this is what I'm saying. Spark is such a subjective description.
Well, I would argue it's not really, because in chemistry, people know spark when they feel it, and this is why people go. This is why people feel so comfortable going off their emotions, because it seems so raw and it seems so. There's a chemical reaction happens and something happens, and it's something detectable.
I think it's near enough impossible for you to meet your arranged partner for the first time and not to feel anything. So anything you do feel can be mistaken for a spark, because you're going to be nervous, you're going to be excited. Any of those things can be mistaken for a spark, especially if they're attractive as well. There's bing.
Well, that's
Wait,
what a
that's
spark
something
is. That's literally describing a spark.
No, but if they're not attractive, you can still feel those same emotions that you're mistaken for a spark. The nervousness,
I
the
don't know
excitement.
if I agree. I don't know.
So
if
you're
I-
saying to me it's possible for you to meet an arranged partner and feel nothing? I don't think that's possible.
No, not feel nothing. I'm saying, like, I don't think it's possible for you to meet some. I don't know if I believe people meet someone and think there's a spark, but there's not. Or you could think there's a spark on both ends and there only be a spark on your end. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you saying there's a spark on mine and it'd be like, oh, I was wrong. I don't think
You
that.
can't say that.
No, I just don't think
Why?
that happens. Because, like, I've never heard of that, never seen it. Like,
So what? It's a fact that there was a spark. So wait, they can't. So wait, this person who decided there was a spark can't then, at a later date, that same person decide that there wasn't a spark?
I don't think they would do that.
Okay.
They might decide I don't want to be with this person for whatever other reason. Like you said, the spark's not going to carry the whole relationship.
Yeah.
But I don't think,
They can be mistaken about a spark.
like, I think, you know, you're there driving in your car, you see a girl on the street, you're not going to be like, oh, I like that guy. And then be like, actually, no, I don't.
But
There's no kind of attraction or whatever.
So what you're saying is it's impossible to not have a spark with an attractive person.
I think people know what they like when they see it. Always.
I don't know. I think they know what's nice to look at.
They know what they like physically when they see it.
Yeah, physically.
Always, straight away. And that's what creates a spark.
So that means what you're saying is a spark is simply just physical attraction.
No, of course not. There's presence as well. You know, when someone has a certain presence in a room, you know, like a man in uniform. Why do you think women like men in uniform? You know, uniform.
Men
has a
like
certain
men in
presence.
uniform too.
Who don't like a man in uniform? But yeah, no, I don't.
Can we move on now? Because again, we have gotten way off. I
Yeah,
tried
that's
to
true.
keep us. You obviously didn't care for it, or did care.
I don't care for you. All right,
I'm gonna go again.
Huh?
No, I'm joking. Go.
I like the themes that this book dares to touch on: physical disabilities, peer influence, national pride, and infidelity. My favourite. In all seriousness, this for me is the whole point of history and historical literature. Not just to memorise names and dates like ChatGPT, but so that we can experience a glimpse of what life might have been like in years past. As the Nazi war machine steamrolled Poland and Belgium, young men across France, Great Britain and the USA were signing up to join the fight whichever way they could. Our protagonist, Cal Jenkins, was no different, except for a birth defect that saw one of his legs 2 inches longer than the other, rendering him unfit for military service. Peer influence is a real thing. What your friends and peers are doing, you'll naturally want to join in to avoid FOMO or fear of missing out, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Especially in a time when governments were weaponizing the propaganda of national pride in order to drive up volunteers. So, you know, you will see that poster, we need you to serve your country sort of thing.
Yeah,
and then they tell you it's glorious.
Yeah.
They don't tell you you're going to get your legs
You
blown
said
off,
governments
etc.
were using propaganda. They
Yeah.
still are,
They
but
have
we
to.
can. It's possible for us to see through it in some cases, in a lot of cases, because of the internet.
You sound like it's call to action there. Rise up, my brothers.
Yeah.
Overthrow this terrorist regime.
Yeah. I found the book unnecessarily long, painfully so. We spent what feels like chapters and chapters wading through Margaret's childhood. We learned she was given away young, raised in an orphanage, never adopted, and honestly, I cannot understand why we needed such an exhaustive backstory. Was the author trying to manufacture sympathy? Were we meant to soften towards Margaret after hearing about her tragic upbringing right before she betrays her husband, who was away fighting a war? Because if so, it didn't work. Not for me. While her husband Felix is overseas serving his country, Margaret is at home in the marital bed getting ploughed by a cow. The book actually reads, Margaret and Cal knew what they were doing. It was wrong, but they considered themselves thoughtful for being careful. They had no desire to leave their marriages or blow up their lives, so at the very least, they were careful. They always used protection, and sometimes Cal would park a block away and walk the rest of the way so as not to be seen. Oh, how thoughtful of them. Adultery is fine as long as you park far away enough, right?
Hobble down the street.
Gold stars for everybody.
Absolutely, 100%.
Margaret also tries to justify herself by saying that because Felix barely touched her throughout their marriage, she felt pushed into the arms of another man. Do you think there's any truth to that? And can neglect justify betrayal?
There is definitely truth to it, and this is why this is what happens when you have a marriage with no spark. But end up taking that cow pole.
Crazy.
But yeah, no.
So she's justified in her
Nah,
actions.
definitely not justified. But obviously, you know, you take your vows before God. Then your vows are your vows, and you know, it's on your head for marrying somebody with zero spark. Which is, again, I said I don't know if I would say that's a smart
No, but
idea.
I don't think you need to have spark to have sex with someone.
Maybe not. Maybe you
Oh,
don't.
I don't.
I definitely don't. But some people do. You know, their heart's not going to be there. The passion's not going to be there.
Passion.
It feels like...
Dedication. You don't need to be passionate.
Well, it's the throes of passion, as they say. So who knows? But
What do I think I hear you ask?
I didn't even finish saying what I thought. But yeah, no. There's definitely truth to it. I don't think it's total bullshit to say, you know, oh, my significant other won't. Like, I know
So
personally, if I'm married and my wife never wants to give it up, I'm getting it from somewhere.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
This is gonna come back to haunt you. So let's move on. If you marry somebody who has had sex with you once in a period of 6 months, I think they've more than given you a clue of what's to come. People typically start having sex less as time goes on, not more. So this might be an unpopular opinion, but I don't think Margaret is in a position to even complain about that. What do you think about that? And also, can you imagine finding out that your significant other cheated on you with a cripple? You can't even beat him up, can you?
You're a war hero and he's a cripple.
You'd be the bad guy if you beat him up.
Yeah, no, you would. You have to
Imagine he
beat
said
up
to
both
you,
of
I
them.
might have a short leg, but I have a bomber clock, long
it.
one where it matters.
Your wife seemed to like it. Crazy. You got to beat up both of them. Now you're a woman beater and a cripple beater. This book's just taken a hard left turn. Out of a clear blue sky, the supernatural pops up out of nowhere. Becky Jenkins, Cal's wife, is apparently a medium who can communicate with the dead. I think it should be illegal, punishable by disembowelment, castration, and public hanging to sell me a historical fiction and then deliver me something closer to Lord of the Rings. It's nothing short of fraud.
That's what I was meant to ask you. I didn't even put it in my notes.
Yeah,
I'm glad
yeah.
you brought it up. So, it was never explained.
Which is the worst, most
Cardinal
disrespectful
sin.
Yeah, you
Even
can't get away with
worse.
that. Can't get away with that.
It was just never explained. We just carry
The
on.
most interesting thing in the book, never explained. But we do know about, Carl's leg and his
And
school
Margaret's
and
childhood
his friend that got shot in Berlin when they first went to the war. We know about all of that, but we don't know about the woman that can literally speak to dead spirits. Me personally, I don't want to see that stuff in my historical fiction. If I'm reading like a memoir, that I want to feel like it was penned by hand.
So was the book not ruined, but are we now?
The
Is it
experience
worse?
was tainted. The experience was tainted.
But don't you appreciate the artistry behind it?
What do you mean, the artistry behind it?
Because it was supernatural. She could speak to people who were dead. Don't you appreciate the way it was woven into the story?
I think
there's
if
creativity.
I think if she was a con artist that was just trying to earn money, the story would be exactly the same. Exactly the same. There'd be no difference.
It didn't add anything, is what you're
Doesn't
saying.
add anything, which makes it a MacGuffin. MacGuffin's a plot device, which is like the crypto in the bank that could be diamonds or cash, and the plot will be the same, and it's just there because the author decided it's.
All right,
there.
that's a fact. It's a MacGuffin, but
Yeah.
that doesn't mean we can't appreciate the creativity behind
Well, it is hard to appreciate the creativity because it doesn't add anything to the story.
experience.
Huh?
It definitely adds to the experience. It doesn't add to the plot or anything, but it adds to our.
Us just reading about a woman that can communicate with dead spirits, and that's interesting. Beyond that, I didn't really get anything from that, to be honest, because they didn't give us anything. They didn't explain it or anything. Do you see what I'm saying?
So
It's
an
like,
explanation would have made it worth it.
well, so if he's gonna be in there, like you can't just act like it's not a big deal that she can talk to dead spirits or whatever. And if it's not a big deal, why can she talk to dead spirits? It didn't change the story. Just make her a con artist. That would have made perfect sense as well. You got to do what you got to do in these troubled times.
I guess maybe it could have even been an extra twist at the end for us, just to tie up the loose ends. That she was conning all
Should have
along.
made her a prissy. That'd have been more interesting.
I do think this book was good overall. It was well written, the prose was strong, the concept had huge potential, but the pacing was needlessly slow, painfully slow. We all knew from the beginning that Felix, the married man, was gay. I honestly thought he enlisted into the army specifically to explore his homosexual proclivities.
Roll around with his chaps.
Instead of just letting that storyline unfold naturally, the book teases us for what feels like hours before anything actually happens. And here's the thing, if Felix is going to war, put him on the front lines, let him see some action, give him danger, trauma, intensity, something. But if you're going to put him on a postal delivery ship instead, then he better be sucking and fucking his way through the Atlantic, because otherwise, what are we doing here? I came for entertainment, not a nap.
That's what you call a seaman right there.
And then, once Felix returns from his tour, we get stuck in this repetitive loop of Becky using her ghost-talking abilities to communicate with his dead boyfriend. Chapter after chapter after chapter, after it slowly dawns on Becky that Felix is gay. We knew it, Felix knew it, the only one who was unaware was Becky. So why make the reader sit through that at snail speed? I understand this was a huge emotional milestone for Felix, admitting it out loud for the first time, but there was absolutely no payoff for the audience. Honestly, it was a missed opportunity. Imagine if Becky, the moral angel of the book, flawless, kind, spiritual healer to the masses, had reacted badly. Imagine if her perfect saint-like persona cracked and she revealed an ugly streak of homophobia or prejudice. That would have been a fantastic Uno reverse moment. It would have actually given her depth, put a stain on her stainless character, and forced us to confront with something uncomfortable. Instead, she remains perfect, untouched, unchallenged, and therefore boring. 2 questions. I just can't shake. Why would the author send Felix to war only to stick him on the world's dullest ship? Was that a lazy missed opportunity to give us real action and emotional stakes, or was it a deliberate attempt to center a slow burn forbidden romance between soldiers?
I would say the second one for sure. I think it was to give us this whole slow burn effect sort of thing, because don't forget we had.
But you could still have. You don't have to have. You could still have a romance on the front lines. I mean, on the front lines there is downtime.
Yeah, like in the women or like.
Yeah, so there wasn't. To me, it was leaned to laziness. She didn't. He didn't want to have to write all these scenes. He could just have someone sailing on the ship, no action. That's what it seemed like to me.
What I find interesting is, you said Becky's like a boring character or whatever, but she could talk to dead people. How are you a boring character when you could talk to dead people? So what's gone wrong? Who messed up? Yeah. She could talk to dead. That's the most interesting thing I've ever heard.
Why didn't she? Why didn't she like talk to some pirates and get some treasure or something?
Get some info that they could use for the war. Exactly. I don't know, something like that.
Oh my days, that's a good one. Speak some dead Germans.
Instead, she's
dead Crouch.
Do you know what I mean? Could she speak Jersey's like something? Do you know what I mean?
No, that would have been an interesting.
That would have been a totally different story.
Recruited by the government,
That's it.
Dropped behind enemy lines. She'd have to go to the trenches and be touching people's heads.
Charles Xavier level shit, man.
That could have been good, Jesse.
What do you mean could have been? Just describe the X-Men movie. Of course, it would have been good.
So, also, do you think the book had a pacing problem, or do you think the pacing was okay?
It's tough for me to tell, because honestly, with these books, I have to struggle to prevent my eyes starting to glaze over, because it's just like we're growing up with these characters. Obviously, we read about them as children, and then they grow literally to elderly age within the constraints of the book, and the whole thing just feels long to me. It literally feels longer than it actually is as well.
Because so it's hard to know if it actually feels like that, or
like it actually is a pacing problem. Yeah, it could actually. That could be her intention.
Was you ever reading it wishing to hurry up? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's all we need to know.
But I felt like that during the wedding people as well.
Yeah, but that doesn't count. It's your last one, isn't it?
Yeah. As I read on, I'm discovering that this is much more of a memoir than a historical fiction. Over the course of the book, our characters age from youth to maturity, having children and marriages and relationships as the war heats Europe to a boil. Buckeye's strength is definitely in its characters and its ability to examine how wars could affect the lives of ordinary people. Despite lacking a plot as such, it's hard not to feel for our characters in their moments of despair, such as when Cal and Becky's son Skip is killed in Vietnam, etc. Obviously, he had his bastard child as well. It was in the relationships and inside the characters and how they're interacting with each other and the things that are going on. There's things to keep you interesting and entertained.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
There's things that will like tug on heartstrings, etc. So just the fact that it wasn't a plot doesn't mean it was a waste of time. But
exactly.
I've never said books without a plot are a waste of time, but it doesn't mean it was a waste of time. There was definitely things to be taken from the book.
I still thought it was too long, and I think there was a lot of missed opportunities.
How many hours was it?
Oh, it was like 15.
Was it?
Yeah, which isn't that long, but it felt long as well. 15 is a considerable amount. There were some missed opportunities as well. Why didn't we get to know Skip in his entirety?
Since he was going to be
since he was going to be sacrificed for this plot. We didn't really give a fuck about it. We definitely knew Tommy way more than Skip. So that's just, to me, it's just a tap-in.
Yeah, he skipped him.
At what point is it too late to confess that your son's friend is actually your bastard child? That's the delightful little dilemma Cal finds himself wrestling with. Years earlier, he'd accidentally gotten another man's wife pregnant.
I hate when that happens.
And Margaret spent nearly a decade pretending that the baby belonged to her husband. Now Cal can feel the consequences creeping up behind him like a tax audit, knowing his whole life is about to detonate through no fault of his own.
Could happen to anyone.
And just when he thinks he's safe, his ex-mistress shows up 9 years later, ready to confront him, poised to spill the beans and blow everything wide open. Don't you think it would be better for everybody if Becky and Felix knew, the book reads? What a wicked woman!
Did you really just say that?
What a wicked... Because she blown up her family, now apparently you got to come and tell my wife.
Yeah, that's it.
If you was Cal, what would you say in response to that question? Don't you think it'd be better for everybody if we came clean to your wife and my husband?
It'd be better for everybody if I killed you. Ridiculous. The way you got to get away with these is like, because son's friend is actually bastard child. That's not a small reveal. So it's like after a certain time, you actually can't drop that anymore. So what you got to do is wait till you're old and you have dementia and then just pretend you imagined it. That's the only thing you can do.
So wait, do you not accept the premise of accidentally getting a man's wife pregnant? Surely you can appreciate that it was not
if you can accidentally get your own wife pregnant, then you can definitely get somebody else's wife pregnant by accident.
So you agree with the premise of that he accidentally got pregnant?
I definitely don't believe that two adults committing adultery is an accident necessarily, but I'm not saying he intended to get her pregnant.
No, but surely you still can't claim it to be an accident. If you go in unprotected and you finish...
Oh, well, that means nobody can ever get pregnant by accident then. But...
No, you can. If condoms break you miss this,
anybody who ever has unprotected sex and gets pregnant, that can never be an accident.
It can't be, surely.
Fair enough, then.
If you cut yourself with a knife, you can't then say, oh, that was an accident. I didn't mean to go so deep. I mean, maybe you can say that.
Loads of people cut themselves with knives by accident, though.
No. But what I'm trying to say is, when you take if you cut yourself, you can't then say it's an accident.
But what if it was?
if you've done it with purpose. If you've slipped, cool. But if you put a knife to your skin, pressed.
I think I know what you're trying to say. But it's just like you're saying it can't be an accident if you did it on purpose. I was like, well, you already do that. Though.
Yeah, but you going inside unprotected is you going in and finishing and finishing.
Okay, if you actually finished, like there was no attempt to pull out or anything.
If you pulled out, then you finished as well.
Fair enough.
You can't then turn around.
You know what happens after that.
Let me continue. Yeah, so what if your wife said to you that she would tell you who she had an affair with, but to preserve the other party's marriage, you weren't allowed to confront that guy's wife? What would you say in response?
So what? My wife has just said to me, I'll tell you, but you can't.
Yeah, so she's confessed that she's had an affair, and you say, with who? And she says, I don't want to tell you because I don't want to. And she says, all right, I'll tell you, but you can't go over there.
I'd beat her already. It's the 30s. This is the 30s. I'd get away with that shit. And not only that.
So what, you would actually comply?
I'd be like, we're not, dude, this is not a negotiation. What the hell? What do you think this is?
No.
But
why do you need to go over there and tell anybody what's happening?
Well, I might do, I might not. That's not the point. I think the point is conditions are being put on, like, I'm the offended party,
not the keeper of secrets.
Do you know what I mean? Not only that, but it's like conditions are now being put on me by the very person who's actually taken liberties. So and it's just like in those situations you can tell who the unbeaten wife is by who's acting like this. Because I know my man from down the street is what's patterned.
What happened next was, in my opinion, unbelievably selfish on Margaret's part. Rather than facing the consequences like an adult, she chose to detonate everybody's life simultaneously. She wrote a pair of brutal, damning letters, one to Cal's wife Becky and another to her own husband, confessing that the son he'd raised wasn't actually his and begging him not to treat Tommy differently. And then, with the emotional equivalent of dropping a grenade and walking away, in slow motion, she disappeared. No goodbye, no explanation, no attempt to stay and deal with the fallout. She abandoned her child and vanished into thin air, never to return. So, I thought that was extremely selfish after 9 years to then just say, oh yeah, by the way, that's not your son, but don't treat him differently. It's like...
Yeah, that's a lot to ask.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to ask is, do you agree with me that it was selfish to confess her crimes 9 years later, or did she do the right thing?
I think when people come clean about these sorts of things, a lot of the time they're not coming clean because it's the right thing to do. They're unburdening themselves, right? So obviously guilt is a powerful force and we'll find a way out sooner or later. But in that scenario, you ran away. Oh, by the way... But don't be good to him though. It's like you're unburdening yourself. You're not necessarily doing it because it's in the best interest of all parties involved. And I think that's the only time you can really say you're doing the right thing, if what you're doing is genuinely in the best interest for all parties involved. If like telling somebody something that's not going to bring any happiness to their life, or like put them in a better position to achieve their goals, then...
But so if you was Tommy, would you not want to know who your father is? Or who your biological dad is, I should say.
It's tough in that situation because, like, as somebody that grew up with parents, I don't really know what it's like to even think about not having parents that didn't want me. So it's just like, you might not care who they are if they really didn't want you like that. Like, family is, it can't mean to like a bastard who never knew his parents what it means to me, somebody that grew up with family. It's never going to mean the same thing.
So
it doesn't mean shit to him.
Yeah, so, okay, so are you saying that she absolutely should not have come clean? And she should never have?
I wouldn't have, and I would have advised her against what she did as well. Because I agree with you. I just don't think you can kind of drop that kind of bomb. And it's like, the earlier you do these things, is the better it's going to be as well. If you're going to come clean, you may as well just do it straight away. Because if you're going to wait and then do it 9 years in.
Yeah, because 9 years, I mean, I didn't even agree with Becky leaving for 2 years after. After it's 9 years. 9 years gone, you're going to leave him for something he's done a decade ago.
Yeah. There's a statute of limitations on these things.
It's like, come on now. It's done now. It's done.
It's been done.
I'm against women cheating, but I think if a man's wife did something 90 years ago, I'd be like, oh, bro, like, come on.
Yeah.
9 years ago, we can leave her now.
100%. Yeah, I don't know about
Crime's done, mate. It's done. It's done. It's over
resolved.
with. It's over with.
She got it out of her system.
Yeah. So yeah, that was wicked. I was selfish. Why? Don't you think it would be better if your wife knew?
Why are women always written selfish?
And do you know what? So the worst thing is, she brought Cal to the park and said, you know what we did before 9 years ago? Was that just sex, or did you feel some spark? When he said, I felt a spark in a moment, but that's not. When he basically put her down and said, nah, it's not really. Then she said, oh, I think we should come clean. Because she was basically teeing him up for saying, because she'd just left her husband, she was teeing him up to say, I'm a free agent now, maybe we can explore that. When he said, I'm happy where I am, she said, but don't you think your wife deserves to know?
He had the carrot, now that's the stick. That's like a veiled threat, isn't it? Had the carrot, now you've got the stick.
Jesus
Offered him the nani, didn't want that. Guess what, I'll blow up your relationship. Yeah, 100%. It's a veiled threat.
Wow. When I read that, I was just like shocked, So that part of it was good. And the infidelity did drive a lot of the story in the book as well.
100%. But
which I'm not mad at.
We do. I was about to say we do joke about it a lot, but in all seriousness, like it's such a key ingredient.
Doesn't get more entertaining than infidelity.
It's a key ingredient. It's chili peppers, right? Like, you add a little bit of that spice.
Murder and infidelity it doesn't really get more in.
And it's severely underused in my opinion. There's so many books that
in my life.
there's so many books where I was like, if there was just a little bit of infidelity here, it would honestly it would make the whole thing.
I think the moral of the story is a little bit of infidelity always makes everything better.
100%.
It always makes things exciting.
If you haven't cheated, do it.
Now. Pause this video right now.
Literally.
I think on that note, wait. What did you think of the book?
I was about to say that.
No, sorry. Would you recommend the book, and what did you think?
I probably would recommend it for it. There's people who enjoy this sort of thing, intermezzos, normal people, etc.
I think we're gonna have to amend that. Would you recommend it to somebody who's not? You can always recommend a book to someone who likes a genre, but I mean, like, could you recommend a book? Could you say this is a good book? Go and read it to anybody. Because I think that's the tell of a good book. And if you can't, then...
Yeah, I'd probably say it's worth reading. Yeah,
really?
I probably would recommend it. I think it's very harsh to like... You end up with like a list of like 20 books if you're that... 20 worth reading... Books that are worth reading in the history of like...
You can still... Someone could not really like horror, and you could still recommend a book to them.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Horror, but it's like, I'm trying not to be too thinnest of thin slices about it. I think, go for it. This is not a terrible book. It's not even bad.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad book. I still think it needs to be cut down, and I think the pacing could have been a little bit better. But I definitely, just from reading it, I can tell that this is an established author. He's done this before. He knows what he's doing.
Definitely.
And he's taken liberties with the fact that people are hanging on his every word. So he will go into long tangents of things and the deep backstories because he knows I've got you guys, 100%. Sort of thing.
It's sold already.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly that. So yeah, it is what it is. What's your rating? Because I don't think you gave one.
I didn't give one. I'd probably have to go 2 though. I'd probably have to go 2. You might look at that as harsh, That's probably fair to say it's harsh, but
You know, you can't recommend. Yeah, it's got to be a
three?
three.
Does
It's
it have to
got.
be a
It
three?
has to be a three, and three is as high as it can go.
Fair enough.
And if not for the pacing, I think we could maybe start to push it a little bit higher, but we're not just there yet. But three is
Fair enough.
respectable.
I have to remember what we said about the fives as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Fair
yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Still going by my old.
So yeah, I think that's it. It's time to end.
Well, so you said three, and would you recommend it? By the way,
I wouldn't recommend.
you wouldn't.
If you really like non-fiction, not non-fiction. If you really liked fiction, and you liked the war scene, then yeah, go read it. But I couldn't just blanket to a naked person go and read this book. Not a naked person. Sorry.
The first thing you need to do. Don't even get clothes yet. Go and read.
No, I don't mean to a
Buckeye.
naked. I meant like to a person I don't know, like to a blind.
Stranger, yeah.
I couldn't just say, oh yeah, I think you should read this book. It's not that good.
It's tough because if I was going to recommend a book to a stranger, I definitely wouldn't be this one. But then there's so many good books. I also wouldn't be the book I would recommend to a total
No,
stranger.
I think
so I don't know if that's-
but there's all the top books, the top 5 books that we've read. All of them, you could probably say to any stranger, yeah, go read it. I thought it was a good book. You know, We Play Games, The Favourites. All of these books, you could just say anybody, yeah,
enough.
go read it. I think you will enjoy it. It's
enough.
one of those books. It's one of those stories.
You convinced me. Well done.
So
All
yeah,
right, do you have a quote or not?
of course not. Till next time.
Till next time.